Hey everyone, hopefully you enjoyed Adam's and Phil's introduction and presentation. Today I'm going to be talking to you about using marketing technology to drive adoption and collaboration within your organization. And I'm going to be talking about the marketing transformation as well, and how you can use a tool to drive adoption and collaboration within your organization. So my name's Luke Crickmore, and I'm the Technical Director at Clevertouch Marketing. And myself and my team have been building cutting-edge marketing automation, technologies that enable people to do things better in marketing automation for the last 7 years. And being a techie myself, I love seeing it when we can bring in new technology to enable a platform better. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today. So on the agenda is going to be me talking about the big marketing transformation. You might be thinking about going on it yourself, or you might already be on that journey yourself. And I want to try and instill on you today the value of bringing in even a small, simple piece of technology to enable your business to do bigger and better things. I'm going to go through some of the experience that we've had as Clevertouch with a typical marketing transformation. And I'm going to be giving you some tips of where to start and some things to look out for, because as good as you are, all these things that I'm going to tell you to look out for are going to come up. They're going to raise their heads. And I'm going to be giving you a practical example of what a small piece of technology could do for adoption and collaboration within your business. So I want to try and leave you with some things to take away today. The first one's going to be, where do you start? So where do you start with this marketing transformation? And I'm going to try and give you that answer. I'm also going to be talking to you about the team structure. So as Adam touched on, I'm going to be talking about building that central team, that hub. And I'm also going to be talking about how to mitigate the risk within your organization, because the marketing automation platforms are amazing and incredibly powerful. But because of that, you put a lot of power in people's hands. So let's talk about experience. So the first thing that I want to mention is that these things are so complex. Doesn't matter what size of the organization you are, if you're a small business, if you're a big business. A marketing transformation is huge for anyone because it has so much impact across the business. It's not just marketers. You need to get buy-in across the business from a number of different areas. And every single time we've done one of these, there's massively changing priorities, constantly changing, because different stakeholders want to get their hand in the pie because they know just how valuable this technology can be. Getting it right always takes a really, really long time as well. Try not to underestimate just how long just bringing in marketing automation will take. These projects are way longer than weeks. They're months, and they're often years if you want to get it right. And we want people want to be the first in line because the technology is so powerful. But that's really good because that means that they're really engaged with the technology. But it can also be really risky for your organization if you bring them in at the wrong time. And immediate results are expected. So what I mean by that is that the people who are highest up in the organization are going to want to see value come from this tool very, very quickly, most of the time, which means that you guys as marketers need to be able to manage that. So the first thing that you can put in place, and this is definitely not the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely something we've seen has had one of the biggest impacts, is to build a central team. And what that means is you're going to be building a team of experts across your entire organization, not just marketing, and that's really key. They're going to be people from legal and compliance. That's going to be really important now because of GDPR. They're also going to be people from marketing, people from sales, and people from all across the business. And those people are going to be the gatekeepers into the platform. They should decide when people should be given access and when they shouldn't. And that's to control risk, but also to make sure that people don't run away from the platform because it's too complex for them if they've not been trained well enough. And then that team should also be focusing on pushing the platform, making the platform better for everyone within the organization. And talking about that, imagine there's, if we're talking about a large company, there's probably marketers that don't really know what marketing automation is. It's the central team's job to tell those people what that vision is. And they should be thinking, because of that central team, they should be thinking beyond just batch and blast. They should be thinking about nurture campaigns, and they should be thinking about lead scoring and what's going to impact these leads going across to sales. They're going to get access to a best-in-class marketing automation platform where they've had to deal with none of the stress. They just have the platform to use. And they're going to be benefiting from the central vision and strategy. And what I mean by that is the central team will be deciding on the themes for campaigns that should be going out this year. And they can benefit from not having to come up with their own ideas and going along with the organization. And that really helps make that brand come across. So the central team doesn't just form naturally. Usually what happens is that you'll start with a pilot team, and those people are going to be the people who are the most engaged in your organization within those tools. So they're going to be the people who are the best at marketing automation. They're going to be the people who are the best at CRM. But most importantly, they also need to be the people who can sell the vision to the rest of the business so that other people want to be onboarded onto this platform. And something that we've seen from experience is that training people from within your organization has so much more impact than training people, bringing people in externally. And that's because you're about to make your business go through so much change by bringing in new technology, which is going to affect so many different parts of the business. And the more people who can be change agents for you, that can tell everyone that this is going to be such a good experience, the better. So when you've got that central team in place, it's going to be their job to think about all of these things. And they'll be trying to prioritize when they do one over the other. But what they'll very quickly realize is that if they start looking at lead management, for example, they're going to very quickly be looking at lead scoring. So it's a marketing transformation is like a web. So you pull on one strand, and you're going to be pulling on all of the other strands across your marketing transformation. So for example, if I start doing some pilot campaigns, I'm also going to have to think about what I want to report on. I'm going to have that standardized at the same time. So what I'm trying to get across is that it's not, the plan that you put in place has to be really far reaching. You can't just start with one area because you're going to miss stuff along the way. And then, great for us, we also have GDPR coming in on May 25th. Which, if you don't know what GDPR is, start to panic, because it's really important that you have adopted a GDPR strategy by the 25th of May. But if you are going through your marketing transformation now, the great thing is that whatever you put in place, you're going to make it GDPR compliant as standard. Now is a really good time to do that. This is a bit of a mantra that we've got in Clevertouch, and it's that even if you're just bringing on marketing automation and not even a CRM, it's never just a platform switch on. It's always a transformation because you have to get so many people onboarded onto these platforms. You have to change their process from the ground up. And I want to go into a few where you should start if you're going through this kind of process. So it's imperative that your organization, the central team, and the C-level executives have set a good strategic vision for your company. And that allows you to set priorities really, really quickly and reset priorities if anything goes wrong. You need to make sure that your central team are bought into that strategy and they're able to articulate that strategy to the rest of the organization as well. They know it like the back of their hands. And one of the key things that we've seen as well is that you need to be able to make sure you're setting realistic expectations early. You're not going to onboard into a platform and then have everyone enabled within the first 2 months. Even if you're a team of 5, that's still really, really ambitious. And as I mentioned before, grow internally or partner. So if you were to partner, you could be focusing on helping that partner come up with the best solution for you, while that partner trained up your team as well until you could take it over. And we've seen that's had a really good effect as well. So at Clevertouch, we talk about these 7 business priorities for a winning strategy. And whether you're on your marketing transformation now, or you're thinking about your marketing transformation, everything that you decide should be represented by one of these 7. And it should be your team's job to decide what order these go in, so that when a difficult decision does come up, you can reprioritize really quickly on the fly. So I'm going to show you now what one of our marketing onboarding plans looks like. and it's a little bit complicated. So this is one of our typical marketing transformation plans. And actually, this is just the marketing automation plan. There's another one of these that goes alongside the CRM as well. So all of the pink on here, these are projects, and every single one of those is going to have another plan underneath it with more documentation. So it just goes to show you the scale that we're trying to work at here. And you can see that we're not talking about weeks. We're not even going into weeks. We're talking about months only. We're talking about CRM integration, data migration, pilot campaigns, then thinking about when to move it out to the regions. And then down here, we also have when people are allowed access to the platform, and that's really key to manage risk within the organization. Not just risk of someone sending out an email when they shouldn't, but risk that they'll get into the platform too early, they might mess something up, or they just might not have been trained enough. So we put a plan in place specifically for training people to the level that we expect them to be at when they get access to the platform. At Clevertouch, we use two key project reviews, basically. So we set gate reviews. So every time there's a big milestone within our project, we run a gate review, which allows us to look at all of the tasks for that individual milestone and reprioritize tasks going forward within the next milestone. And those are really key for getting the C-level together and making those priorities, those larger business decisions. And then we also run status reports, and these happen every week or 2 weeks, where we drill down into the individual task level. And we do a red, amber, green on how each of the tasks are going so that we can reprioritize at a lower level so that everyone who's working on the project is all aligned. This leads me on to where we often have seen problems. And the first one being training is not sufficient. So if you let people into the marketing automation platforms before they're fully trained, they're going to get completely overwhelmed with what you're showing them. There's too much to know before they've been fully trained. And what we've seen is that those people often go back. So on the too many tools point, those people often go back to the platforms that they had before, which come GDPR is going to make your lives a living hell because you're going to have so many different platforms to try and integrate together with your GDPR solution. And we've also seen that people aren't very pragmatic when it comes to deciding what data should or shouldn't go into their marketing platform or their CRM. They often just want to keep all the data just in case. But oftentimes that causes extremely complex data structures, which cause many, many problems down the line. So you want to try and be pragmatic about the data that you are going to be using or the data that you're not going to be using. And finally, another thing that we see quite often is over-promising. People are really happy to tell people just how amazing these platforms are, and they are amazing. But it comes at a price. It takes a long time to get them there. So far we've been talking about a marketing transformation in its whole and some of the things that you can do to help you get on that journey. What I want to focus on now is getting a little bit more specific. I want to focus on an individual area, and that's around adoption and collaboration. And this is an area that I feel like, as Clevertouch, we have solved with a piece of technology. Technology that I'm talking about is Powershop, and this is a tool that me and my team created, which has enabled companies to enable field marketers to be able to send out email communications with practically no training whatsoever. So if you imagine this person in the middle here, they're the central marketer. They're receiving content from a number of different field marketers in a number of different forms. So they might receive content across email. They might receive it over instant message. It's their job to try and collate all that content together and then load it into the marketing automation platform. And that might sound easy, but when you're dealing with this many people, this many different projects, different campaigns, it can be really, really complicated. And it's that person's job to make sure that's correct. So if they can't do that properly, because there's just too much, steam is going to come out their ears, basically. So we completely revolutionized that process, and we built a tool called Powershop, because we saw this time and time again when people would bring those central teams in. We built a process that enables field marketers to build their own marketing emails from a select number of templates. And we enabled the central team to, rather than build the emails, they just approve them, and they load them into the marketing automation platform automatically as they're approved. So we've been working with Eaton for a number of years now, and we've had the pleasure of working with Eaton because they've been pushing us forward as well as us hopefully pushing them forward. Eaton have got really aggressive targets and objectives that they've tried to hit. And hopefully you'll see that in Nina's presentation. And I think they've done a fabulous job. But luckily for me, they're not averse to bringing in a piece of new technology if they feel like it's going to add value to their business. And that's exactly what they did with Powershop. So Eaton have used Powershop for a couple of years now, I think. And what it enabled them to do, it enabled all of their field marketers to be able to build emails within just a few minutes. And the great thing about that is that come GDPR, there's going to be one platform, one marketing platform that they need to get GDPR compliant, and that's going to be Eloqua for them. As well, it enabled the central team to have they had control of the templates that the field marketers were able to use. So not only did the central team know that all of the emails that were being built were mobile tested and desktop tested across all the different clients, it also enabled them to standardize those templates. So marketeers weren't looking around for that old newsletter template or that old product template. They knew exactly where to go. They were in this one platform, and that's where they went to build their emails. And obviously what that meant was that there were a lot of efficiency gains that Eaton saw. And hopefully that led to a better efficiency across the business. So at CleverTouch, we've got a tool who specifically do this kind of stuff. And they sit down with Eaton regularly to talk about new developments that we can do for them. And that team, when they're not working as an extension of your IT teams, trying to build you that cutting-edge marketing technology that you can, they're building technologies like PowerShot every day. And today, I want to announce that we've got a new version of PowerShot coming out. And I want to take you through some of the features today. So we're introducing Momentum, and this is PowerShot built from the ground up, version 2, and it's going to integrate seamlessly with both Marketo and Eloqua. So when you approve an email, it will go directly into those platforms. We're saying that Momentum is a driver for adoption, collaboration, and ROI. It's that tool that enables your field marketers to build emails in a controlled manner, and then once they're approved, they'll go across to marketing automation automatically. We're trying to make email easier for everyone. So imagine I'm a central marketer. This is me as a central marketer, and I'm having a good day. I'm starting to receive content in a number of different forms, and I can manage this because this is only one coming from one marketer. But throughout the day, I start to receive content across the phone, across email, across forms, and I'm starting to get a bit stressed, actually, because I've not got time to load it into the system. As the day goes on, I start to make mistakes. I start to miss things across all these different channels. And gradually, even I'm no longer enjoying marketing automation. And I'm supposed to be the person who's selling this vision. We built Momentum to solve this problem, to bring extra adoption to marketing automation. So let's go through some of the features then. So we've revolutionized the build request process. We have built a system that enables field marketers to build their own emails, so the central team don't have to manage lots of different documents. We built a system that enables them to build those emails with basically no training. If they can use Microsoft Word, they can use this tool. And what that means is that the central team are freed up to work on the stuff that will really drive your business forward. They're freed up to work on marketing, marketing campaigns that are going to better the whole organization. We've also built, as you can imagine, an extremely powerful email editor. This email editor is context aware. So if I click on an image, I get controls to only change that image. I don't have to go through menus and menus. If I click on a link, I can change just that link. And everything within the platform we've tried to make to your organization. So it's your templates, your fonts, your colors. The people in your teams will only be able to use your brand colors, and that's really important, because it means that the emails are much more likely to be correct first time. We've also added in an approvals process, because at CleverTouch, we build a lot of emails, and we know how important it is to make sure that those emails go out to quality. Because unlike other mediums, like a tweet, you can't just delete an email from someone's inbox, not at this kind of scale. So what we've built in is an approvals process. So a field marketer will request that their email needs to be approved, and once it's approved, it'll get automatically built into marketing automation. Ooh, I don't remember those colors happening. That's new. So doesn't look like that. So what we've built into the platform, because at CleverTouch we have lots and lots of experience building emails, we know how difficult the amends process can be. We hate working with annotated PDFs, and we hate working with Word documents that try and describe where amends are. So we built this process, and actually we're standardizing this process inside the tech team too, for us to use. And it's a new amends process. And you can click, so what this allows you to do is you can click anywhere on an email, and you can add an amend to that, as if you're using pen and paper and you're drawing. You also get notified instantly where an amend is added to an email that you've been working on. And as a user, I get a to-do list to work through. So I'm not having to jump over to an email to try and find my to-dos and cross them off as I go. I get my to-do list, and as soon as that to-do list is done, I can ask for my manager to approve it again. Looks much less orange than that normally. And we know that the best types of content gets created by teams, and we want you to work together in teams in this platform. I'll cover that again in just a moment. But we have an integrated comment system and chat system on every one of the amends that get placed, so that your team can focus on exactly what they need to focus on at any one time. We don't want people to miss communications in instant messenger or email. We want people to keep coming back to this, because this is the platform they know where they need to build emails. And we want it to be as easy for your organization to onboard on as possible. So we built in teams. That enables you to create teams for every single different type of team within your organization. So you can have a UK marketing team, you can have a US marketing team. Completely up to you how you set the platform up. But what defines them is, one, they can communicate with each other, no problem whatsoever. And two, you can choose which templates should be assigned to those teams. So if you've got one team trying to promote shoes and another team trying to promote bags, they don't have to see each other's templates. Unless you want them to, then they can. And finally, every time that a critical action happens on the platform, we let you know via email. And that email always gives you a link back into the platform at exactly where you need to action this thing. So whether it's a comment has been added on your email, or whether someone wanted to get in touch with you directly through the integrated app messaging system. You might have an app messaging system in something like Slack that you might use, or Skype. Enables you to communicate to people directly. So this gives you a link directly back into the platform whenever you need to action something. So why might you want to bring momentum into your organization? Hopefully I've already covered a lot of these, but it empowers field marketers whilst maintaining quality and control. Meaning you have control over your marketing automation platform. You're putting in steps to mitigate that risk. It enables rapid AMA adoption, because there's basically no training that's needed to get into momentum. Driving key stakeholder satisfaction. Your team can send out emails so much quicker because you need less people fully trained up on the platform. And it saves time on the email creation and approvals process, and now we've got the amends process in there. It's going to actually improve the way that your emails are built within marketing automation. And it's a collaborative platform so that your teams can work better together, and they know exactly where to go to build an email. So if you'd like to get involved, please come and see me after this session today. Or alternatively, you can scan the QR code. You need to be quick because I don't have that much to say on this slide. Or you can go to the website, momentum.clevertouch.com, and you can see our new landing page there, where you can sign up for a demo. We want your feedback to improve momentum. We've got lots of brilliant ideas to push the platform forward, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But we want your feedback. We want this tool to work for you as well. So I want to leave you with 3 things today. Those things being, where do I start? What about the team structure? And how do I mitigate the risk? Hopefully, you've learned that a plan and vision and strategy for your organization is so important, and it's really important to make sure that you're setting those expectations. Your business knows exactly when it's going to get a working marketing automation platform and when they should start to see results. You need to think about building a central team who are all completely clued up on that vision and that plan, and they know how to sell that to the rest of the business. And finally, you should be looking to use technology to enable people to adopt into your platforms quicker. Not just Momentum, but there are lots of technologies out there which simplify the process for lots of people who don't necessarily need access to the full suite of the tool. Thank you very much.
That was great.